Hello and a very warm welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to show you how to take Penstemon cuttings. Penstemons are one of those beautiful flowers that we just wouldn't be without. I like to look at them a little bit like the summer foxglove. They have a similar kind of tubular flower which pollinators love to go inside into their little booths and get the pollen and nectar from. We haven't done the cutback of these up until now, so I'm going to do that now, but this is the perfect opportunity to take some softwood cuttings because a lot of this growth is actually nice and fresh from this year, and we can use those to make new plants with. If you've already done your cutback already, do not panic. You'll be getting lots and lots of new shoots as the new growth comes up from the base, and you can use the same technique on these as I'm going to show you now. So I'm just going to start by taking some of these big branches off, and then we can get the cuttings from these. So there we go. And then what we're looking for, at this time of year, you're going to see lots of these lovely bendy shoots towards the top. So what I'm going to do is, just with a little pair of snips, I'm just going to select some of these top pieces. And you'll find there'll be lots and lots, if you've not already done your cutback yet, on these new shoots that have started to grow this season. So I'm going to take about maybe 5 or 6 for this kind of pot. See if there's any on this one. And the softwood cuttings are ones that have the flexibility, so they're nice and soft. Stem is still nice and supple as well, and these will root quite readily when you place them into compost. If you're not going to do the cutting straight away, have your polythene bag ready and place them straight into there and seal them up, because that will keep them from not losing any moisture. But we're going to do them straight away so we can actually leave them out. And what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be taking all of these bottom shoots off, all of these leaves and any little shoots that are coming from the sides, they're all going. And you can just literally just get your hand across and just take some of these off. And what you're wanting to do is just underneath where you can see where there's been a leaf joint, you're just making your snip there. And then all the rest of this foliage we're going to trim back. I also like to nip out the growing tip, because I do believe that can help it to root and make the plant bush out. So your cutting looks something like that. And then we just get some hormone rooting powder and just dip the end in that, and then we just have some multi-purpose compost with some added perlite. And the perlite's added for drainage. We don't want these to be sat in water, we want them to be free draining. And you just make a hole and then just place that down like that, and that's your cutting. So again, you can just strip off these bottom leaves. Just be careful not to damage the stem. And then reduce the leaves by a little bit, and then just nip out that growing tip. And you want to be cutting the branch just below where the leaf joint is. Pop that in some hormone rooting powder, make a hole, and in it pops. Penstemons are really, really easy to grow from cuttings. They root really, really easily. Just like that. And that goes. In a pot like this, it can probably fit maybe 5 or 6 around the sides. Just trim that down a little bit, and that's your cutting. So that's your cuttings taken, and then just give it a little bit of water. And then just with your plastic bag, this is just a food bag, freezer bag, you just place the whole pot inside, just like that. And just zip it up, and that acts like a little mini greenhouse. And then you want to be placing this somewhere out of direct sunlight, but somewhere fairly warmish at this time of year. So I'm going to place these in our summer house. It does have some heat, and I'm going to place them not directly in the window but further back, so there is light, but it's not going to be direct sunlight. Make sure they don't dry out. I mean, the bag on the top should prevent it from drying out in the first place. This is why it's there, to make that humidity dome around these cuttings. And then within maybe 4 or 5 weeks, we should be seeing roots starting to come out the bottom of the pot. And at that point, what you can then be doing is getting those transplanted, separating them out, releasing the new plants that have rooted, and then placing those into individual containers to grow on. And then once they're large enough, you can then place them directly in the garden. And this is a wonderful thing because Penstemons are not reliably hardy. So by taking cuttings now and throughout the year, what you can be doing is producing new plants as insurance. So if your main plants do end up succumbing over the winter time, you do have new plants to put in their place should that happen. So our original Penstemons were the ones placed in the far border towards the summer house, and from those we've propagated all of the other ones. So the ones you see here are actually ones that we propagated through cuttings in just the same way I've just shown you now. So you can see what is possible. You can make multiple plants. There's lots and lots of plant material even left on these, and many more that I could take. So if you're very keen on making lots of plants, you've got a very large area, or you want to share them with friends and neighbours and family, then this is an ideal time to be doing this. And these can be taken all through now, through the spring, all through the summer and into early autumn. So there's no real rush. You can do it anytime. And as I already said earlier, if you have already cut them back, don't panic, because all the new shoots here can be used in exactly the same way. Just take a few shoots off each bush. Do exactly the same thing I've just shown you how to do with the cuttings, grow them on, and you'll have new plants in no time at all. So thanks very much for watching this video on how to take Penstemon cuttings. I do hope you found it informative and also enjoyable. There are many plants you can take cuttings from at this time of year. A lot of those include things like salvias, things like phlox, things like nepeta, all the herbaceous perennials. As the new shoots are coming up through the spring, you can be doing a similar technique and making new plants for free. Please give the video a like, please subscribe. If you have any comments, drop those in the comments box below the video. We will see you very soon on the next one. In the meantime, happy gardening.